It's not exactly a secret that the Marvel Cinematic Universe has been in complete and total shambles. Whether you're talking about streaming failures that have cost them billions of dollars on Disney Plus, or whether you're talking about massive box office flops. Take The Marvels, for instance, the worst flop we've seen in the history of the MCU. And even though the mainstream media has spent the last several years covering for Marvel, covering for Disney, and covering for the MCU, trying to gaslight everyone into thinking that there's nothing wrong, everything is fine. It really took the failures of 2023 across the board for everyone to straight up admit that there is a problem here. And quite frankly, I still think there's a problem going forward. When you look at the next couple things coming out, Agatha All Along, the Ironheart series that is supposedly still going to see the light of day at some point, and of course, Captain America 4 Brave New World, featuring a Captain America who nobody actually wants as Captain America. And of course, top all that off with the Blade debacle. There are still multiple failures left in the MCU, but the next movie out that does come out in just a few days on Thursday is Deadpool and Wolverine. And from all accounts, this movie is going to be fucking massive, especially considering its limitations with it being rated R. At this point in time, with the box office projections, and certainly things can change. Maybe when the movie comes out, people actually hate it. It might have a big first weekend and drop off. A lot of things are possible. But right now, the feeling is from people that have seen it, from people that know what's going on, a lot of people think this is going to be a smash fucking hit. The problem is, does that do anything to save the MCU or help the MCU as a whole? Because these are characters that are not really made from the MCU. They're characters that were made in the Fox universe and brought in. And specifically, many of the characters that we're hearing about, especially the ones that are going to be doing cameos, all this stuff, it's not like we look at them and say, wow, these are characters the MCU really built. No, they're not. People are detached from those. These are characters that people have nostalgia for that have nothing to do with the Marvel Cinematic Universe. But we do have some big first reactions because we had that 30-minute preview that got released about a week ago. And then yesterday, finally, we did have the world premiere of Deadpool Wolverine, where everybody and their mother that got to see it is going to review it. And we do have to take all these with a grain of salt because, quite frankly, we saw with the Marvels, we saw with, Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania. We see a lot of these shill critics and access media types just fucking relentlessly praise these things that are dog shit in an effort to get continued access. But there does seem to be a little bit of a difference with this one. There seems to be a lot of love for this movie overall and a couple common themes. So let's get to some of these first reactions. Deadpool and Wolverine celebrated as Marvel Love Letter with epic action in first reactions. Reynolds and Jackman premiered the movie at a premiere in New York on Monday, while press around the country were treated to first full screenings of the movie. The first reactions are now arriving on social media, coming ahead of the official critics review, which hit Tuesday. So I'm recording this in the morning. I assume at some point today, maybe even before this comes out, we're going to start to see the first critic reviews coming in on Rotten Tomatoes and review sites like that. So just, be fair warning that if I put this out, it might be a couple hours after those have been released. The movie's tracking for a massive 165 million plus domestic bow when it opens this weekend. If that does happen, it would be outrageous for an R-rated movie. And I think if that does happen, based on the word of mouth we expect it to have, you can talk about this movie essentially as a lock for $1 billion movie. And I don't know if it's going to be the biggest of the year because Inside Out 2 did such massive numbers, but that is ridiculous. A lot of us were questioning 6 months ago, could it hit $1 billion? That'd be kind of crazy. Look at Deadpool and Deadpool 2. Are they really going to be able to do that? But based off what everyone's saying, it certainly does look like it's going to be huge. And here's some of these first reactions. Deadpool Wolverine's a shot in the arm the MCU so desperately needed. Really, I wonder how many of these people will say I desperately needed this comeback, this big win, when a lot of them have been saying there's nothing wrong with it for a while. Vulgar, violent, scathing, and at times even touching, this R-rated romp holds nothing back, delivering on everything its fans want with maximum effort. It even managed to pay respect to the Fox eras. Let's see if I can actually pull this up to see the entire thing. The Fox era's legacy while ushering a new one for Marvel. Feels so damn great to see Hugh Jackman back as Wolverine, and his hilarious banter with pitch-perfect Ryan Reynolds is the heart of what makes this entertaining film work over its convoluted multiverse plot. That's the one thing I have to question. How are people going to accept the multiverse stuff? I've said for a long time that I think this, despite the damage to the MCU, People really like Ryan Reynolds as Deadpool. People really like Hugh Jackman as Wolverine. Having them together and their banter and shit is going to be massive for them. But will it be able to play out? Will it be able to overcome the problems that people have with the multiverse shit? The stuff that fans in general have really rejected and not been big fans of in this phase 4 and 5 of the MCU. That is the question that will be seen. Deadpool Wolverine's so much fun. Marvel threw me a curveball by making this tribute to Fox superheroes, but it plays super well. Funny, gory, massively satisfying. A blast that doesn't overstay its welcome. Well done. Shocker to no one that Deadpool Wolverine reacts are called the Marvel's best since Endgame. We've heard that a million fucking times. Let's go to somebody that I actually do value their opinion. Not that I agree with Chris Gore on everything, certainly, but this is Chris Gore from Film Threat's perspective. Exactly what the Marvel Universe needs, a buddy comedy with heart that doesn't take itself seriously. A roast of the MCU taking shots at Fox, Phase 4, and the careers of its co-stars, Ryan Reynolds and Hugh Jackman. Huge crowd pleaser, and the best cameos are co-stars. So what I take by that is that, hey, these big cameos are not just necessarily like a 5-second cameo, haha, awesome, let's cheer. It's actually going to be valuable parts of what they're doing, which I think could go a long way. Could be the biggest movie of the year, but much more needs to happen to save Marvel. Violence is R-rated, relentless, fucking fun. Deadpool and Wolverine. I'm not surprised to see this. Based on the early things we've heard, we have heard that a lot of people like the movie. I want this movie to fucking roast Marvel. I want this movie to take shots at Kevin Feige, at everything they're doing, at the multiverse, about how stupid and convoluted all of this has been. And really, I think this would have been a great opportunity for the MCU to completely reset, a kind of Deadpool kills the MCU type of vibe, but they didn't have the balls to go that far, apparently. We'll see what happens. To me, this is almost going to be isolated from the rest of the MCU as a whole. That's kind of how I look at it, because of the characters that are involved, because of the characters that we expect to get some cameos from. They're not MCU fucking characters. They're characters that were created by people before the MCU came along, and the nostalgia that we have for a lot of those characters. What do you guys think about the first reactions? How do you think this movie is going to do with the box office? And the biggest question, even if it blows up, does this do anything to change the future and what they still need to fix for the MCU? Let me know in the comments section below. Smash a like button, subscribe to the channel, ring the bell for notifications, share this video out there, and I'll talk to you later.